beautiful people, and welcome to the channel Bob Sales. This time's next year. So as you're all aware by now, the Decon drops are starting tomorrow on Friday, 8 AM PT. For us English people, that's 4 PM. So by looks of it, we've got 3 days of drops again, and there's some really nice ones in here. And there's definitely some surprises in the editions, some surprises in how many they've kept, and some surprises in the prices. And there's also quite a lot of other stuff going on at the event, so we'll get into all of that, and we'll try my best not to long this video out. So of course, we start off with a staple of the Decon drops, and of course, it is the Scott Tolson mascot. So by this point, if you don't know who Scott Tolson is, you've probably been living under a rock. So the price on these again is 25 gems, which is the usual. And I've got to be honest, these are normally the ones that get brought at the event itself. And of course, if you've been to the event, you know it's one of the first drops you're going to be doing when you get to the event. In my experience, everyone does the first drop. Now, as you can see by the screen, this one is actually the Decon mascot itself, and it does look like it has a Mario hat on. Of this one, there's 1,188 editions, and this is the rare variant. The one thing I would say about this is on the bottom there, the name is just Decon Mascot 2022 edition. Now, of course, this is the rare variant, and of course, as I said, it does look like it has a Mario style to it. Next one on the list is actually the Illuminati edition, and this one certainly gives me a Freemason look. I think out of the three, this one's going to be the least desirable. In the same edition number, 1,188. Now, of course, the ultra rare blows the rest of them out of the park is the Back to the Future edition. This one's clearly in the style of the dot, and this one's probably the only one that's going to hold any value. It's also the ultra rare, and there's only 888 editions. And I must say, I do actually like the fact that they put a fun fact under there, that Decon's founder is of course obsessed with Back to the Future. The next drop on the agenda is the Roji. I'm sorry if I butchered that name. This drop is at the cost price of 55 gems, and it's 650 editions. Now I know for a fact there is actually physicals of this, because I've actually seen this before. I must say the artist himself has actually got some big names in his work. Brands to be included: Adidas, Moët, Chardonnay, Cadillac, Corona, Nike and New Era. Another fun fact on this article is that they've also worked with the Foo Fighters. I can imagine it was the cover art itself. Damn man, that's the Foo Fighters. I love the Foo Fighters. And for that reason alone, I might actually go for this. This artist was actually at Anaheim last year. I'm not sure about this year because the floor plan is so busy. But what I can tell you is the edition size matches what we had at the New York Comic Con. To put this into some perspective, some of them drops are now under retail. This drop is taking place at 10 AM PT time, 6 PM English time. Now the next item I'm pretty sure you've seen before. We have quite a few similar items to this. First thing off the bat, you can actually see this one's actually animated. I'm curious to see what the animation is. Is it just going to be the rose leaves flying around outside of the collectible? Or is there more to this? And the drop price for this one is 65 gems. Again, the edition size of 788. Another thing I've noticed with this one is it don't actually match the physical 100%. The VeVe have definitely give this one a bit of a rose uplift, just so they could cover some of the bum detail. So it's definitely not 100% match. It's definitely a nice collectible. This one here, I do see the value going up quite high, just on the fact we do have the Just of Us artwork. With the artwork itself, it was actually 45 gems box price. And of course, the ultra rare is actually sitting at 130 gems right now. Bearing in mind, this is actually a poster. But yeah, I do see this drop doing quite well, especially with the animation, but it all depends on the animation. If you're in this game for profit, this is probably the one to go for. Of course, that is your decision. But that's the first day of the Anaheim drops done. Let's poke at the next details. So one of the things I did want to mention is actually the fidgetals. It does seem VeVe forgot what happened last time with all the queues and the rushing in England. Like at Decon London, they've actually done Jermaine Rogers Special Choices drop. This is exactly the same as a Choices drop, but it's ultraviolet. And I don't like the fact that it's the same collectible. Of course, it's going to get a good price. So the deal is you get the NFT and you get the Jermaine Choices t-shirt. Now that bundle will cost you 150 gems. We do have the perfect collectible to compare this to. Of course, that is the UK's very own Decon Jermaine Rogers drop. That was exactly the same deal, exactly the same price. And that's sitting around 500 gems right now. Of course, we've got Frank Koziak and the Dijon Dungeon. Yes, that was very hard for someone to say with a list. I've got to be honest, I don't think much to the artwork itself, and I don't really think much to the labbit. Then the edition size is exactly the same, so it's 150 editions, but only 110 shirts, and the list price is exactly the same. I'm not going to lie to you, both of these are selling out instantly. The one funny thing I did think about this is there's only 300 editions to go around. I'm not being funny, but if you see what happened at Decon London last time, and David, you actually used us and told us that he thought there'd be less of us. This time there's definitely going to be more than 300 people in Anaheim. Are we going to see the Black Friday rush again? Both of these t-shirts are actually happening on the Saturday. Jermaine Rogers is 10 a.m. PT and Frank's is 4 p.m. PT. If you're at Anaheim, I know you already know, go and grab one of them t-shirts because you will be winning. So as always, I've been your host, Bob Sales. This time next year, we will be millionaires. A peace.
The bid stands at £4 million.